Hello, first and second graders. So this week we are going to be starting our collage volcano art project. And this project is actually going to take us 3 art classes to complete. So this is the longest we've worked on a project yet this year. So I'm excited to see what you make, and I know you're gonna work hard on these. So when I say that we're doing a volcano collage, that means that we are using several different kinds of materials to create our art. So when you look at my volcano here, you can see I've used some newspaper and watercolors and some other kinds of paint and glue to create my work of art. I didn't just use one medium like paint. I used multiple different things to create the volcano. So that's what I mean when I say collage. All right, so our first step, you'll need the large sheet of heavy painting paper that I sent home in art kits. It's a 12 by 18, it's pretty big and hard for me to get it on video. And then you'll need some school glue and a paintbrush, or you can use a Q-tip, something to apply your glue with, and then something to hold your glue. And I'm gonna use a paint palette, but you could use a paper plate or a piece of cardboard, something like that. And then you'll need a pencil, and I sent home a sheet of newspaper that you could use for this project. I actually don't have newspaper right now, so I'm gonna use just an old magazine. And you could use an old magazine or some junk mail or something like that as well. All right, so our first step is going to be to lay down our newspaper print to create our volcano shape and lava. So I am just going to start at the bottom of my page and really lightly with my pencil, just kind of draw where I want my volcano to be. And our volcano is erupting, so we want it to have kind of a flat top at the very top of the volcano. All right, so I don't know if you can really see my pencil lines there, but you just want to draw real lightly the shape of a triangle. I'm going to draw a little darker so you can see my lines. The shape of a triangle with a flat top. All right, and now we're going to start adding the magazine or newspaper. So just grab a sheet. If you're looking through a newspaper or looking through a magazine, you might want to find something interesting that has some colors that you want to use. All right. And you're just going to tear your magazine sheets or your newspaper sheets into strips. Make sure if you are using a magazine at home that you have checked with your parents and they are okay with you tearing up their magazine. All right, I think I have plenty here. Okay, so just move those to the side, and then you can pour some glue into whatever you're using to hold your glue. And you're just going to paint lightly with the glue where you want to lay down those papers to build our volcano. And you want to cover up those lines that you drew. We don't want to see those. Okay, that's plenty. And I really like the sides of paper that I've torn that have the torn marks on both sides that are rough and will give my volcano a nice rough look on the edges. So we're just gonna keep doing this until we fill the entire volcano. You can tear these into smaller pieces than I'm using, but I would rather you not do any bigger than this size because we want to see a lot of different texture in the volcano, and all these different strips of paper will give it that. And And then when you get to spots like this, you might need to tear some smaller pieces. Up here, we want to make sure every part of the volcano is covered. Oh, look, I like how that kind of gave it a little peak at the top. Here's another one. That looks kind of interesting. All right, so once we fill in all of the volcano, I just want you to take your glue and go over your newspaper magazine pieces again to make sure that they are all sealed down nicely and there's no ends that are kind of flipping up. You want to make sure that they are all pressed down. See, that little piece was getting away from me there. So I still have more to fill, but I'm gonna move on. So you'll fill your entire volcano. Make sure you don't have any little white spaces like this showing. You want your whole volcano to be full of these magazine sheets or newspaper sheets. And then when you do that, let's just say mine is all full and I added another layer of glue. Okay, then you're going to add some lava. I'm gonna pull my example back. See that? So I did this kind of shooting up out of my volcano. You could do it coming down the sides. It's totally up to you. And for that, you're gonna use your same sheets of magazine or newspaper again, but you're gonna want them a little bit smaller. And you can just glue them however you want them to be placed on your paper. I think I'm gonna just do something kind of simple, just a few little lines of lava shooting out the top here. And that's it. You can keep going further with this. You can have lava coming down your sides and even like smaller pieces that kind of speckle out into your sky. That's up to you. And then when you're done, so this is our only step today. You can, if you have papers that are kind of falling off the edge of your paper, you can just trim them with scissors. An easy way to do that is to flip it over once it's dry, of course. And then you'll just cut straight along with the line of your paper there, so you can trim that all up. And that's it. You're gonna let this dry completely somewhere safe. And then next week, we're gonna move to our part 2 of our volcano collage. So keep this safely somewhere, let it dry, and then bring it back next week and we will keep working. Have a great week, you guys. I'll see you next week.